Okay, we are back on the First and Goal podcast. I'm here with Jacob. How are you doing today?
Good. I'm in desperate need of a haircut. I look like Bozo the Clown, but everything's looking good.
That's good.
This is gonna be a double episode drop, guys. We're gonna have two episodes coming out Friday morning, depending on when you're listening to this. Saturday, obviously, is a bunch of wild card games, so we want to make sure that you guys have time to listen to that episode. So we're gonna do two episodes on Friday. So don't say anything when you see the other video on YouTube. And me and Sam are still wearing the same clothes. Kind of wanted to make that clear. We also didn't want to combine them all into one episode because it'd be way too long, and we want to make sure that we can get you guys moving throughout your day, whether you're listening to this on the way to work or coming back from work, whatever the case may be. Sam, you can take it away.
Okay. So I guess we'll start out with our power rankings episode.
Definitely. So we're only going to do the playoff teams, right?
Yep, only playoff teams, because what's the point of ranking the rest of the teams that aren't involved?
Yeah.
Also, I gotta say, how dumb is it that they're doing a playoff game on a Monday night?
I hate it. Why are you giving a shorter week than like Sunday to Saturday, whatever? I'm hoping that the Monday night team at least plays on Sunday next week and not on Saturday. I haven't really looked at how the schedule works out though.
Yeah,
Because doesn't it depend on where they seed?
Yeah, so let's say, well, it's the 4-5 matchup, so they'll know where they're playing no matter what.
That's even more stupid. Like, if we want to just give ESPN a game, give them a Sunday night game. Give them a Saturday night game. That makes the most amount of sense.
Yeah.
Well, Sunday night
Saturday might be because they're big into college basketball right now, so, and then they also have NHL.
What college basketball game is more important than the wild card game? I love the NHL. They already put all the NHL coverage on ESPN Plus anyway. So what's the difference?
Yeah. I mean, I was going to say the only one might be Duke UNC, but UNC is not very good this year.
No, I don't like this whole Monday night thing. And I think we're going to be on the other end of what the perception is. But coming logistically, I hate the fact that we're talking about a Monday night game. We'll talk more about that on the other episode, though. Power rankings now. 14. Who you got?
The Philadelphia Eagles.
As do I. I mean, Jalen Hurts. I'm not really sure what else we really need to say.
I mean, he's played decent this year. I just don't think he's the quarterback that can lead a team to a playoff victory, let alone a Super Bowl.
I think that they're moving in the right direction. I think that Jalen Hurts is the type of guy that you can have kind of guide you through this transition period when you guys are trying to get better. He might have to take a backseat role if you guys can get a star quarterback in there. But then the Philadelphia Eagles will be right at the top as soon as they can figure out the quarterback position, or if Hurts does take a giant leap in the offseason. I'm not saying they're always going to be bottom end team, but this season I will say they are 14th in playoff rankings.
Yeah, it also doesn't help that they're such a young team. It's just a plus at this point that they're even in the postseason and get that experience.
I agree. I think it's amazing for Sirianni. I think that the team should be very excited about the future as well as the fan base. So yeah. I like him at 14, but I mean, it's been just shocking that they got here in the first place.
Yep. My number 13 team is another Pennsylvania team, the Pittsburgh Steelers.
So I originally did have them at 13. However, then we started doing a little bit of research right before we jumped on. I've moved the Arizona Cardinals all the way down to 13. No Hopkins, no Watt, or at least Watt is in question. It's not looking great. I think Kyler Murray is your franchise guy, no doubt about it. This is just his first experience in the playoffs. I don't like his chances very much. He's taking on who? The Cowboys?
The Rams.
Yeah, I like the Rams experience. Sean McVay's got them going in the right direction. You guys have the coach of the future with Cliff Kingsbury. Last year, you guys just barely missed out on the playoffs. The Bears got in. Bears shouldn't have been there, but that's regardless of the fact. This year, you guys made it to the playoffs. I expect bigger things next season, but this season is just not the year.
Yeah, for the Steelers, I like their defense. Big Ben is Big Ben at this point. I just don't think they have the talent around them to match up with the other playoff teams. It also doesn't help that they're going up against the Kansas City Chiefs in round one.
Agreed. I think I think that I have the Steelers at 12. I can put that right there. Big Ben, obviously, this is his farewell tour. Would it be a great story if he beats the Chiefs? For sure. I got in an argument earlier this week over text message because I just said that they have no chance against the Chiefs. I still believe that. They lost 36-10 without Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce. We obviously know they have all their weapons back, barring anything that's COVID related over the next 24 hours. I just don't see much of a chance. Big Ben had a great career, first ballot Hall of Famer, but this is where the story ends.
I will say another stat. Big Ben has the most tied for the most playoff losses in the wild card round.
Well, he's going to break a record in his final performance. So
yeah,
good for Big Ben. It's not a record exactly that he wanted, though. He's still what, 2-time Super Bowl champ?
Yeah, because he won it, I think, his rookie year.
And then he beat the Steelers or
the Cardinals.
He beat the Cardinals and he beat the Seahawks. Is that what it was?
Yep.
Yeah. So good for Big Ben. First ballot Hall of Fame career. I already said who my 12 was. Who's your 12?
The Arizona Cardinals. They've lost 4 or 5, and if they don't get Hopkins and Watt back, they just don't have the talent around them, I think, to keep up with this Rams offense. Stafford has been playing a lot worse to end this season.
Agreed.
But I think the Rams defense is just going to wreak havoc in that backfield or Kyler Murray.
The other thing I real quick want to say about the Steelers, really, I mean, the tie thing was a crazy scenario, but they shouldn't be in the playoffs. Brandon Staley fucked the LA Chargers by calling that timeout. So that's that's kind of another reason that I have them so low. At what number are we at? 12?
11.
Number 11, yeah. I have the Las Vegas Raiders instead of Oakland.
Yeah, I have the New England Patriots.
Ooh, I didn't expect that one.
Mac Jones has been playing rough to end this season. He's playing like a rookie quarterback.
Well, rookie quarterbacks also don't have the biggest success in the NFL playoffs. Patriots, you guys have your guy. Obviously, Bill is going to lead this team to another historic run over the next couple of years, but it's not going to happen this year. You guys have to just enjoy the ride with Mac Jones. He is not Tom Brady. But the Patriots are going to be good for a long time still. I have the Raiders just because while it's a great story that they made the playoffs, and while I always mispronounce his last name, Biasca, is that?
I think so.
While he is going to end up probably being your next head coach, they're probably going to drop the interim title after what he has done since Gruden has lost his job due to the scandal. You guys probably shouldn't have been in there either if we're really talking about deserving. It's shocking that we're not talking about the Chargers. I love the Raiders season. I love Derek Carr. I just don't think they have the firepower or the defensive firepower to really get this done this year. I think they're going to be another team that's going to be on the rise. But I also said that about the Bears a couple of years ago, and we saw how that's ended up. So enjoy it while it lasts. I'm happy for the Raiders. I'm happy for their fan base. They deserved it, but kind of didn't deserve it.
Yeah, my number 10 team is the San Francisco 49ers.
At number 10, I have the Patriots.
I just I don't trust Jimmy G.
I mean, it's hard to, but he also has gone to a Super Bowl. They probably should have won that game.
Yeah,
but
I don't think they have the talent. They have nowhere near that same talent of that team, though.
This team runs through Deebo Samuel. If Deebo Samuel puts up a huge game, they can win. There's no question about that. Then you add in the production of Ayuk and Kittle, and who their running back committee, I think, led right now by Elijah Mitchell. The defense is good. I like the 49ers. They're my 9th ranked team. It's going to be hard for them to advance. But again, the NFC West is going to be kind of a crapshoot coming up because the Rams are going to run into huge financial trouble. The Seahawks, they have nothing to really build on, especially unless they trade Russell Wilson for a couple first round picks. It's going to be Cardinals, 49ers for probably the later half of this decade, I would imagine.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah, my number 9 team is the Las Vegas Raiders.
Okay, so we kind of had a little bit of a flip flop in there.
Yeah.
I mean, do you have anything to add on the Raiders?
I don't know. Derek Carr's had an unbelievable season, I think. But yeah, I agree with you. I think they got their head coach right if they make him the just drop the interim title. Biasca has had a great year with this team. I think they believe in him.
I
And
mean,
yeah, they
there's
just
nothing wrong with that. I mean, especially if you keep Derek Carr. I think that's where this entire organization has to do. Unless you get
yeah.
a star like Rodgers, you have to keep Carr. And now it's actually shocking that we have all 8 division winners rounding out our top 8. At 8, I have the Dallas Cowboys. I like the roster. I think they could easily win it just as much as the other 7 teams in front of them. But they've played a little inconsistent down the road. Dak, it just depends on which Dak we get. Do we get the very average Dak, or do we get possible MVP candidate Dak? If we get possible MVP, I think this team could easily win the Super Bowl. I just don't see it happening this year.
My number 8 team is the Buffalo Bills.
No one circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills. What's your reasoning for that?
I mean, they are talented, but Josh Allen's played so inconsistent this year.
The loss of Tre'Davious White, I believe that was over Thanksgiving weekend, has been a huge loss for that defense. I know that
Yeah,
defense has still looked good, but holy cow, have they kind of lost a leader. Really, it looks like they've lost leadership back there.
yeah, which is surprising because White's such a young player in this league.
I mean, it just shows that entire coaching staff is going to be filled with head coaches. I think Leslie Frazier's probably going to be on the way out. Dabble is definitely going to be a head coach next year. From what I understand, their assistant GM is either going to be in New York or Chicago. So they did a really good job, but the injuries are going to kill them. I agree.
Yeah.
At number 7, I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
My number 7 team is the Cincinnati Bengals.
Just comes down to what weapons is Brady throwing to now. Obviously, last year when they won, they were the healthiest team in the league. There's no question about that. That helped Brady get to his 7th ring. This year, it's quite the opposite. You had the Antonio Brown situation just weeks ago. We'll talk about this on the next episode, but I'm fully on Antonio Brown's side. And it's Mike Evans and it's Ronald Jones and Le'Veon Bell and then the tight ends. Obviously, Gronk is a huge weapon, but I just don't know who Brady can get the ball to because, as Antonio Brown said it on the Full Send podcast, Brady can't do it all by himself. He is one guy on an 11-man offense.
Yeah. My number with the Bengals, Joe Burrow's played unbelievable to end the year. I think that, again, this is a team that does not have an O-line. They go up against a team with a pass rush, and I think they're kind of screwed.
Yeah, I mean, they're my number 16, by the way. So it's going to be up to what Burrow do we get. If we get national championship Burrow, I think this team could win the Super Bowl this year. It's going to come down to what can their defense do. But I don't know. They're another team, as good of a chance as anyone. It just depends on what Joe Burrow we get and can the defense hold opposing offenses to a low enough score that they can outdo.
Yeah, another thing is they are playing in Cincinnati. They have the Chiefs, the Titans, and the Bills that they would have to go to on the road. I want to see this team playing a little bit more. How would they play in a little bit colder of weather?
It's going to be hard. You have a young quarterback, a lot of good things to look forward to. It's going to be real difficult for them. By the way, I feel like no one's talking about Zach Taylor for Coach of the Year.
Yeah, I just think LaFleur and who else? Vrabel have done such a good job that they've kind of run away with it.
At one point, we were saying Kingsbury,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I don't see how we're looking that much past Zach Taylor because people expected the Packers to be good. Let's not forget that.
Well, I mean, we'll get into it on the next episode on who they're all getting, or I'll probably get into it later on who they're all getting back. But that's kind of why LaFleur is coach of the year.
We'll see. Who's your number 6?
My number 6 is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I have a little bit more faith in Brady than you, I guess, but and that defense.
By one ranking, come on.
But yeah, I think having Antonio Brown gone, Chris Godwin gone, Gronk is injury prone at this point in his career, and you don't know what Gronk's going to show up in the postseason. I mean, if even 80% of Gronk is probably better than most starting tight ends, but are you going to get 80% of Gronk?
80% of playoff Gronk is an even bigger animal.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about probably the greatest tight end in NFL history.
Him and Tony.
Tony. You could make a case possibly for Antonio Gates. I'm not on that train, but that's been a little bit of a debate. Kelsey is probably going to be in there at some point. Kittle will be there probably at some point. But
yeah.
But I'm thinking Gronk to be the greatest of all time. But
yeah, at this point.
And if you get that guy 80%, you're gonna be in a good position. They can easily win some games. It's just gonna come down to what Gronk do we get? Do we get fully healthy or not?
Yeah.
At number 5, I have the Buffalo Bills.
Number 5, I have the Dallas Cowboys.
You have the Bills lower, and I get it. Josh Allen hasn't played great. But I just can't see Josh Allen playing bad in the playoffs. Who do they play? They play
New England
this week. That's going to be a different result this time in Buffalo. There's no way that they can only have Mac Jones throw the ball 3 times. Josh Allen's going to come out. You know that he's motivated because this is what they kind of said. They all knew that the Buffalo Bills would be in the playoffs. This is his time to shine. This is when anyone cares. This is like the Packers motto, basically, or even Tom Brady. It doesn't matter what happens in the regular season. The playoffs is when the real season starts. I think that Josh Allen's coming in prepared. I think that he may have been looking a little bit past the end of the regular season, knowing that the playoffs was so close. I think he's going to come out and have a really good game.
Yeah, I mean, for the Cowboys, my number 5 team, I think Dak's playing some pretty good ball. I also think Dan Quinn has that defense firing on all cylinders at this point. Now, are their corners going to be good enough to go up against, the top weapons in the NFC and actually hold up where Trayvon Diggs, my bad, not Tre'Davious White. Trayvon Diggs is he's been beat on big plays. He makes some big plays for you, but he also gives them up.
I think he gave up the most yards of any corner this year. So,
which if you're getting targeted that much to give up the most yards, you're going to intercept some balls.
Right. So, I don't know. I'm not sold on the Cowboys.
I don't know. Parsons and Lawrence off the edge, I think, gives them a chance. And Dak's playing some pretty good football with and those weapons on offense.
Agreed. They have the pieces in place to be contenders for a while. So it's going to come down to, can the secondary stay up? We'll find out.
And can McCarthy not be a moron?
That's a given. No. At number 4, I have the Tennessee Titans.
I think this is the second one we've agreed on. I also have the Titans at number 4. Getting Derrick Henry, their bell cow, back.
They do get the extra week to get him even more healthy. I like that move. How much do I trust Tannehill, though?
Yeah, the defense has played better throughout the season. They're better than what I thought they would be. Derrick Henry, teams are going to try and stop him. he has the weapons now in AJ Brown and Julio. With Frisker's not a bad tight end for him. In that
No, I
red
agree.
zone.
I actually really like Ferks here. I have a feeling we're going to agree on the top three as well. Anything else you want to add on the Titans before we go to number three?
I mean, I think playing in Tennessee is going to, if they can get to that conference championship against the Chiefs, it's going to be a different animal than when they were playing in Arrowhead.
Agreed. The issue is like the Packers are going to have an advantage, right? If they get to that level where they have to go into that cold weather. Nashville's pretty mild. It's the same weather as Kansas City. The fans obviously all play a part, but they don't get the added like weather advantage. I don't know if it's going to be enough to hold off the Chiefs. At number three, I have the LA Rams.
Yep, I have the Rams at number 3 as well.
We're definitely agreeing on the top two. Stafford's got to play better than what he has, though. Let me say that.
Yeah, he's got to stop turning the ball over.
It's almost like he was trying new things, and it definitely didn't work, especially against the 49ers. I don't know why they even want the 49ers in the playoffs, so there's no way they just blew the game. But they had the chance to step on the throats and eliminate the playoff chances because the Saints would have gotten in. They couldn't hold them off. They had a big lead to start the game, blew that. They cannot play like that and expect to have a chance in the NFL playoffs, especially in this loaded NFC. Yes, they can get away with the first round win against the 49ers. But as soon as they play a bigger team, such as the Bucs or such as the Cowboys or the Packers, they're going to get killed if they play like that.
Yeah,
but I still have faith in the defense.
I have faith in their defense. You know, their edge rushers and Floyd, Miller, and then Donald up the middle. They're going to be disruptive against any O-line. Yeah. That secondary is a problem too with Ramsey and Williams. Mm-hmm. Now, I think an issue with one of their safeties is going to be if Eric Weddle's starting, I'd target him deep all day.
Me too. That was a strange signing, to say the least.
Yeah, a 37-year-old Eric Weddle that hasn't played in 2 years.
Yeah, I didn't really understand it, but I guess he knows the defense. We'll see how it goes. If he's out there though, they should be targeting him and targeting him and targeting him. Wherever he is, that's where the ball should be going.
And nothing against Eric Weddle as a player. He was a great safety during his time.
Debatable Hall of Famer.
He's 37 years old, hasn't played football. You don't know what kind. Man, he might be in football shape right now, but
the lack of reps. I mean,
and it is a different defense than what it is going to be a different defense than what they were running last time he was with the Rams.
Agreed. It's a strange move to say the least.
Yeah.
At number 2, Kansas City.
Yep, Kansas City Chiefs.
All right. Yeah. I mean, Mahomes is Mahomes. For any one of the people in our fantasy league, Mahomes is great. He is not just a piece of the system and has become just like the face that obviously Andy Reid and Bieniemy probably helped him, but he is, regardless, a top 3 quarterback in the NFL. I don't think anyone can question that.
Yeah. Now, Mahomes has been prone to turnovers this year.
It's the playoffs. Things are going to be different. He's going to be able to get the ball to his big targets. Yes, he's missing Sammy Watkins this year. We'll see how that affects him. They really don't have a dignified or a great number 2 like they always had. Obviously, they still have Tyreek and they have Kelsey. That's all you need, in my mind.
They have a great number 2, Tyreek Hill.
So you're saying that Kelsey's the number 1?
100%. Anyone that thinks Tyreek Hill's the number 1 option over Kelsey.
I'm saying wide receiver 1, tight end 1. You do have Josh Gordon. We really haven't seen much of him.
Oh.
But we'll see if he
being out of the news is good enough for him.
I mean, the issue with Mecole Hardman is he's the exact same player, just a little bit less skilled than Tyreek. But I don't know. I like what this team has done to end the year. Obviously,
their defense has been playing well.
The loss to the Bengals, not great. But if you're going to lose to a team and you lose to the Bengals, that's an okay loss. No one really faults you for that. And then they bounced back the next
I
week.
agree.
They bounced back and looked great against Denver. Got Vic Fangio fired. So I have them at number 2.
Yeah. And our number 1 team, they're getting back their
So
left tackle,
we just talked
all
about
pro offensive line, outside linebacker, all pro corner. They're getting back their starting right tackle, their starting slot receiver. Who else am I? I think I'm missing someone else.
Let's
Nope,
just
I
put
think
it this
that's
way.
it.
We just talked about Mahomes being a top 3 quarterback. Green Bay has a top 1 quarterback in the NFL. Aaron Rodgers is the best player in the NFL. He is the MVP. There's no question about it. Now, LaFleur needs to not have any of those moments like he did last year, where he's not going for it. I believe he didn't go out for it on 4th down and they kicked the field goal and ended up losing. Yeah, you can't be doing that. The games are going to be close, but the Packers should be the favorites to win the Super Bowl right now. They should win the Super Bowl. If I'm putting money down right now, yes, they probably have the shortest odds, but it's going to happen. The Packers are going to complete the last dance. Rodgers is going to go out of Green Bay as a Super Bowl winner. He's going to pass Favre with 2, which is, I think, a big thing for him. And yes, they are the number 1 team in the NFL. Coming from a Bears fan, it's hard to say, but the Packers have no excuse to not win the Super Bowl this year.
Yeah, honestly, they're the healthiest team going into the postseason. They're probably the most talented team going into the postseason.
That's been Rodgers' big thing. Everyone can get his blame that he's never had a healthy team going into the playoffs. Now, yes, most of these guys have not played in a while. They have an extra week. When they come back, they're going to play the worst team to advance. So, no, not a joke of a game, but they're going to get a little bit of relief. So these guys getting game time, you won't have to play them 100% of the snaps, in my mind. Then it's the big game that Aaron Rodgers seems to not be able to get past. If he gets past that game, and we're talking Packers Chiefs or Packers Titans, Packers Bills, Packers Bengals, I can't see any of those teams beating him.
Yeah,
So,
I just don't think Rodgers has an excuse this year if he doesn't win a championship.
This is going to hurt me a lot to say. I'm starting to like Aaron Rodgers. I've never felt that way. I have an exclusive list that I had recently taken Aaron Rodgers off of it. It's a pretty vulgar list. But I think I told you, I was like, I hate him, but I respect him. His commercials are great. He's become more of a, like, just a smiling face. It's a new Aaron Rodgers. It's a nicer Aaron Rodgers. We're not talking about his family now. We're not talking about all this off the field bullshit that he's been part of. We're talking about Aaron Rodgers as an MVP back to back, something that hasn't happened, I believe, in a while, that we've had a back to back MVP.
I think since Favre.
And look who he's copying. Everything that he needs to do, not that he's not the greatest Packers quarterback of all time, but just to solidify it in every single fan's brain, comes down to this Super Bowl.
But yeah, I believe it's either Favre or Manning for back-to-back MVPs.
Brady
I
didn't
think it
do
was
it.
Favre in 96, 97.
Brady couldn't do it.
I don't think so, just because he had to go up against Manning.
I'm just thinking like that season that he threw for 50 touchdowns and it was unheard of.
07.
Did he win in 06 or 08?
No, because I think 06 he was coming off was he when he broke his leg?
Yeah, I think so.
Broke his ankle.
And then you're not going to give it to him because he obviously had a down year from the year before. So
yeah, and then this is Brady's second most touchdowns in a season too this year with 44.
Yeah. So did you expect me to come and actually say all these nice things about the Packers this week?
Not really.
I didn't either.
I mean, I figured they would be your number one team because if you didn't have them at number one,
I've
that'd
had
be
a
pretty
number one
dumb.
the last how many weeks, so
Yeah.
I mean it sucks to say, but that's gonna do it for the power rankings episode. If you guys like this episode, we are releasing this is gonna drop at 2:05 in the morning Central Time. The next episode dropped at 2:10 in the morning Central Time. So jump over to that episode. It's going to be on YouTube, on all the streaming services. Check out www.winnersonlyclub.com. We'll see you guys on the next episode. Okay.
Yep. See ya.